it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today is an Inspire Create Challenge day, which means lots of fun, and you can go and have a look at all of the projects that the design team have come up with. Just have a look at the associated blog post for this video, and in there you'll find a link to the blog for Inspire Create Challenge, and there will be some fantastic projects for you to have a look at. Our theme today is Sale-A-Bration, so whatever project that you are looking to make, so long as it predominantly uses Sale-A-Bration items, then it would be a valid project for this theme. So Sale-A-Bration runs until the end of March. It's when we get free stuff for spending money. We like getting free. So for every £45 you spend, or a multiple thereof, you get to choose either a free level 1 if it's £45, or if you spend £90 you get a free level 2 or 2 free level 1s. Now basically everything is level 1 apart from the 2 items at the back here, which are this beautiful stamp set, which I really must get inked up. Maybe by the time you watch this video it will have already been inked up, you never know. And the Tea Time framelets, which coordinate with the Tea Together stamp set in the Spring Summer catalogue. Those are also a level 1 item. Now, £45, as I say, gets you a free item from this brochure. I like to call it a brochure rather than a catalogue. It just makes it easier to refer to. I find otherwise if I call it a catalogue it can get confusing. It's a little brochure. If you have a large order or you want to place an order with some friends, then you get extra stamping rewards if your order combined is over £200. If you do the best thing you can possibly do, which is join my team, I know I'm so pleased that I signed up not yet 3 years ago, but joining the team means that you get extra free product in your kit during Sale-A-Bration, so either €55 or £40, plus you get the option of buying the craft and carry tote as part of that signing up feature. So the general thing is €129 or £99 gets you the starter kit of your choice. You can customise it to what you want, and then if you spend either €160 or £125, you can add in this gorgeous craft and carry tote, and it is amazing. The only way you can get it is by signing up and joining my team, so just be aware. Now, warning time. As at filming, these have gone. The organdy ribbon combo have gone. Everything pretty much in the catalogue is while stocks last. They did have to put in an additional order for these, which was, I think if my memory serves, about double what the initial order was, but they've still gone. What else is under threat in here? The foils at point of filming are low inventory, and the Precious Parcel kit is low inventory. Everything else is still available, so yeah. And I'm using the lovely Lattice. I haven't shown projects using this up until now, but it is gorgeous. It's a cling stamp. You get 3 stamps in the set, so you get the lovely large, a little single flower, and this stripe. And this is the project that I have come up with. It is definitely 3-dimensional. It would not go through as standard mail in the UK. This would be a large letter stamp, but I think it's really, really beautiful. I'm loving this set. You can do so much or so little with it. I have kind of gone all out with it because it's an Inspire Create Challenge day, so I've challenged myself. And it has what I love. It's one of my favourite things, adult colouring. So I stamped loads of these, and then just while we were watching television, I coloured them in. So I'm going to show you how to make this part way through, but obviously this involves a lot of work, and then there will be a bit of a Blue Peter moment, and I am using a slightly different colourway. Just so you know, the colours that I used for the flowers were I have to get these right. They were dark flirty flamingo, light flirty flamingo, so the duo, and the colour lifter, which is how I got these tones. And then the centre of the flowers were the Daffodil Delight markers, and the leaves were the Old Olive. Now I did then colour in the lattice at the back using the soft seafoam markers, but obviously you could pick colours that you're already using if you want to cut down on the number of blends. But frankly, I love blends, so why would I cut down on them? So as I say, I'm going to do a slightly different colourway for this version. It's only very, very slightly different, and it does use some of the same markers. So I'm starting just with a piece of Whisper White that is large enough for the large stamp, which I've got mounted on an E-block, and I've got it with a lovely cling mount. I do love these cling mounts. If you're having problems with them, the most common problem that I have heard is that they are too clingy, which is ironic, bearing in mind we all complained that the labels, if you put the labels on our clear mount stamps, they weren't clingy enough, so we seem to not be able to be happy. Memento ink, because it works with the blends beautifully. You don't want to use an alcohol-based ink with alcohol-based markers because they will run. So don't use StazOn. You can use any of the classic inks if you want to have a softer outline, but I'm quite happy to have the black. Do press really hard, and there is your lovely stamp. So, as far as colouring is concerned, before we go on, so if you are having a problem with them being too clingy, now this one is quite clingy, the key is to get in underneath the label and then peel from the side. But if you stick it on the back of your hand a couple of times, that picks up enough stuff to make it much easier to pull up. But they are very clingy. You can, whoops, that one I probably, it's a filthy block. But yes, you can pretty much pick up your blocks with your stamps. But if you do find that they are getting a bit too sticky, then say back of the hand is great. And if they then stop being sticky enough, just run them under a warm tap and just gently rub the back of the label, and that will help get the whatever fluff and fuzz has built up. It's a bit like washing the photopolymer stamps. I wouldn't add washing up liquid or dish soap, I think you call it in the States, but just running water. But it's the same idea. They do pick up fluff over the months. So as far as colouring is concerned, I will just do one flower because they do take a wee while to do. I'm using Daffodil Delight as a combo, so I've got the dark and the light, and then I'm using as my blender, so on the original one I used the colour lifter pen. Do we call it colour lifter? We do, colour lifter pen. I'm actually going to use the light petal pink. It is very, very pale. If I colour with it, that is how pale it is. So as I say, it is very, very pale. The dark petal pink is a much more orange, but that is a light, and I like that slightly not white look with the yellow. Now I'm going to try and zoom in a bit, and then, without making you too sick, and then if I choose a flower, I'm hoping, there we go, I'm hoping you will be able to see what I'm doing. So let me just find a piece of washi tape, because then I can attach my card to the grid paper and hopefully not move the card too much, because that would defeat the object of the exercise really. So for this colour scheme I'm going to start with the light Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to pull in a reference point off to the side. So I'm going to start colouring this flower here. So I'm going to lay down some light Daffodil Delight, and I'm covering quite a lot of the flower, and then dark Daffodil Delight, around the edge, and then back in with the light just to smooth that out a bit. And you can see it then fades nicely into each other, and then the light petal pink just to fade that into the centre. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. I love zoom cameras. So next petal, I'll do this one over here. I'm trying to pick petals that are a reasonable size so you can see them. So reasonable amount of the light Daffodil Delight. Come in around the edge with the dark, and I'm trying to do a not completely straight edge because we don't want it to be a definite edge. And then come in with your light Daffodil Delight again and just blend that through, and then in with the light Petal Pink and blend that in together. So that's really all we need to do, and obviously you just continue going until you've completed the background. As far as the leaves are concerned, let me find a leaf that you can see. So these, very simple. All I've done is with the dark just added a bit of something, and then come in with the light Old Olive and just blended that out. And it's just so it's not a flat colour, but obviously you could just come in with a flat colour, there's nothing wrong with that. So just colour it in, simple as. The centres for both sets of flowers I've just done with dark Daffodil Delight in the middle, and then light Daffodil Delight round the outside, just to sort of have an indication of the fact that there's pollen, which tends to be tends to be yellow. So it's as simple as that. And then what I've done is I've done a full background, then I've done a layer that is the larger flowers, then a third, which is just this flower. So if I zoom out again, I'll try and do this slowly so you don't get too sick. There we go. So if I remove that, we would then fussy cut. Now, fussy cutting is just exactly what it says. It's just cutting in a fussy way. So just come round and I move the card more than the scissors. And that way you seem to have much more control than coming in with the scissors and then trying to move them, which I find very difficult now because I'm so used to moving the card. So just cut round them until you've got the bit of the image that you want. Now obviously this bit here is quite an easy cut, so just keep going round. Then for the centre, as I say, I've just taken the larger flowers, not the buds or the leaves, and then I've done this one as a separate one again. Now, to get the whole thing looking okay and looking finished and complete, even if all you do is the edges of the flowers on the lower levels, do remember to do the edges, because otherwise you're going to have white showing underneath, which is not totally pleasant. It just looks unfinished. So I have done a bit of a Blue Peter. So here's one that I've basically fussy cut and stuck together already, and here's the the rose to go here. So all I need is some bits of dimensional, and it's a great way of using up the edges because we want a reasonable coverage without going mad. Possibly want to get into that one that sticks out the side, and then one there, and then just peel these off. Oops. And just line it up and press down. So that's our basic focal point. Don't need the memento, and clearly don't need leftover dimensional backing. So putting the card together, I need petal pink because I'm picking up the petal pink that I've used for the background of this card. In the previous one, as I say, it was soft seafoam. So I've got a petal pink matte at 5.5 by 3 3/4. Don't worry about dimensions, as ever, they're on the associated blog post, which is linked immediately below. I've then got a 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 mat in Daffodil Delight and a half sheet of A4 scored down the middle to make an A6 card base. But before we put it together, we need to put some pattern onto the petal pink. I've got another piece of grid paper, just so that I've got a guide for where I am stamping, particularly as I am going to go off the edges. So I'm looking at sort of below midway, so possibly want to bring it down a little bit more. And I'm not too worried about this, getting this exactly lined up, but having the grid lines helps. So I'm inking up the little edge piece, and this is where not having a camera in the way is a really good idea. Just stamping so that at least that is lined up, and then from there I'm just going to come down and do 4 or 5. So let's do 3, and I'm not worried that it's a bit skew with because most of it is going to be covered up. So let's do 5 and go back up the other way. But I am deliberately coming off the edge of the card rather than stamping so that there is an end on the card. It just looks a little more finished if you go off the end. Then with the small flower, I'm just coming in underneath and doing another line. And again, I'm sort of going off the end, then turn this over and fill in the gap, but go offset. So basically we're just building up a pattern of flowers at the bottom, like that. Simple as, nothing at all complicated about that, just simple stamping and straight onto cardstock. So we can get rid of our scrap piece and start putting everything together. So let's start by building the card up. So we've got our piece of thick Whisper White, just burnish that. So we've got a nice fold, grab some liquid adhesive and, as I often say, just scribble on the back. We don't need very much, it's really strong glue, so a little does go a long way. I use a lot more than some people, so but having anything in your liquid glue would be clever. Let's find one that's a little heavier. This one seems to be heavier. So again, just a scribble around the outside predominantly, and then just a swirl in the middle, and pop that down. And one of the joys of having the liquid adhesive is that you can get your piece of cardstock exactly where you want it before you stick it down. Right, then our fussy cut piece, need to be a little more precise about this because you do want the little fussy bits to have some adhesive on so that they don't catch and tear. So just tiny, tiny dots just on those bits, and then the rest is just a scribble, making sure that the edges are covered. And then pop that down. I want it sort of there-ish, I think. There we go. Press it down so that we know it's in place. And then, just to finish off, I've got some of the Share What You Love Artisan Pearls, because those are in So Saffron, which is kind of the pale version of the light, or it's like the light Daffodil Delight blend, and I'm just popping 3 of those on using my straight paper piercer. Keep talking about it and never use it. Well, there we are. So there we go, 2 lovely, really pretty springtime, oh I wish it was springtime, projects. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it got you inspired to have a go at fussy cutting images out. Do have a look at the lovely Lattice stamp set in the Sale-A-Bration catalogue. I think it's one of those hidden gems. There are some amazing projects that have been made using this set. And as I say, you don't have to go as fussy as I have, but do give it a go. And I hope to see you again soon. Do remember, if you wish to see more videos, then subscribing is a great idea. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. If you would like to sign up to my newsletter and or hear about when I post on my blog, you can do that over on my website, which is below in the description bar. Just click the associated link. I send a newsletter about once a month, unless there's something important that I need to share. If you become let's rewind that. When you shop with me, if you use the host code, you can become a member of my VIP Facebook group, and they get to hear about everything just a little ahead of everybody else, because they are my very important people. But to do that, so you would need to shop with me, and if your order is under £150, you would need to use the host code. If your order is under £150 and you use the host code, you don't just get the standard thank you card and little handmade gift that I send, you also get to share in the host rewards. I just pick something and send the same thing to everybody, so everybody gets to share the same thing. We've had Wink of Stella recently, and the chamois. So some nice gifts. It really depends on how many people there are and what the total is, but I basically just divide the total of the Stampin' Rewards by the number of people who've shopped, and that's how much I spend on each of you. So thank you very much indeed for watching. Please have a go at the Inspire Create Challenge. Anything Sale-A-Bration would be lovely. As I say, it just has to be the central feature of your project. And that's it from me today. I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye!